So I want to share a case study with you guys of a little girl who's 10 years old, and the mom came saying that there was complaints of vomiting in the middle of the night, and whenever she would wake up vomiting, it would be around midnight, consistently midnight every single time. Interestingly enough, her root cause scan showed the gallbladder meridian as coming up, and guess what time the gallbladder meridian hour is? It is from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. So what's interesting is that the physical imbalances of having the gallbladder meridian energy not flowing properly are symptoms like insomnia, waking up suddenly or very early, and not being able to fall back asleep. The emotional imbalances are timidity, indecision, or easily discouraged, and resentment. The mom said that this is her daughter to a T. So what's interesting is that her emotional scan showed the sacral chakra, and it said about 3 months ago, on an intellectual level, it could indicate challenges of social conditioning. The influences that have affected this chakra occurred within the last 3 months and are probably more emotional in nature, but could be intellectual. So of course I reached out to mom to ask her if anything had happened about 3 months ago. And sure enough, she could distinctly remember an event that occurred that was impacting the daughter very, it was very emotional for her. I want to be vague to respect privacy. Another thing that was interesting is that the yin linking vessel came up on her emotional scan, which is associated with suppression, communication, and discontentment. Again, this little girl had gone through an event that was traumatic for her, and she didn't have the skills to process or deal with, and they were now manifesting physically. And so looking at all of her scans, yes, there were a few markers that showed potential physical ailments or physical things that we need to work on, but primarily the list was associated with a lot of emotional work that needed to be done. And interestingly enough, there were quite a few meridians that needed to be flushed. And so if you haven't scanned with us recently, then you may not know that the scans have been updated, and we have actually added all of the meridians and what percentage they're flowing at. And I've also created a workbook. So if you want to get access to this workbook, subscribe to our email list, send me a DM, and I'd be happy to get you that workbook for free. It will give you a step-by-step instruction on how to clear the meridians, because as you know, our meridians are associated with organs, which can then impact disease processes in the body. So it's very important to be able to have proper energy flow so that we can avoid things like insomnia, heartache, depression, and any other symptoms that come along with stagnant energy flow.